All right. So tonight, we're going to talk about Miss Bedell. Miss Bedell's house in Dallas County when I growed up. Miss Bedell was a lady who lived down the street from our old house. Okay. Miss Bedell's condition was like this. I'm going to set it up. She lived alone. She had a husband and children and things like that. But all the children gone. Her husband had died. They said he died tragically. In the mines, things like that. And so she had got to what they call senile. See, back in the day, we didn't have the term dementias or old timers. Senile is what they call the older people. One that heard me. They one they called that one.
Yeah, she didn't have no family managing.
Yeah, she didn't have. And Miss Bedell always just sat on her perch. Always. She never did. She'd get up in the morning when we was on our way to school. Miss Bedell would be on her porch, just sitting up there.
Looking crazy?
Mm-hmm. Don't call it that, her.
Okay.
Don't call it that, please. Okay.
You looking spooky?
Yeah, that's the term you use. That's it, spooky. And the side of her house where she lived, it was dark over there. You never saw no lights on, did her?
No.
You would see like a candlelight, like she probably had a lantern or something in the window. And I don't even know if she even had power over there on her house, because it was always dark. And if you even saw a flicker of light, it was like a lantern or a candle. And so,
I ain't even see that. You seen that? You good?
Yeah, well, we had to pass by her house, go to the bus stop, and her house was the main passage when we went from it. If you came by there, that's because you had to came. But we had to go by there on the way to school and everything. And my mama always told me, little Ruth Fletcher, Roosevelt, all of them, that even when we go by, we crossed over to the other side, because they said it had been some strange things happening. And then my mama had a sensitivity towards paranormal and supernatural activity. And she said for sure it was haints in existence over there. Now, we talked about haints.
I tell you what, no matter, Jay. Whenever we went by there, it's always a strange wind.
Yeah.
When you walk by there.
Mm-hmm. It was like a faint feeling that it was eerie feeling, and it got cool. And they said, the old folks said, that's why haints be over there, like in that area. The atmosphere was thick over there. It was just different. I never heard her talk. I never even seen her. Like, even we go catch the school bus, she was always there. You never saw her coming out of the house to sit down. She was always there in the darkness, just sitting there in that dark space. And we cross over before we get toward our house. We always crossed over. You never went on the sidewalk toward our house. You just did. Even the mailman. They said the mailman taking a chunk of mail over the fence. He wouldn't even go to her mailbox. It was just always a creepiness by Miss Bedell's house. All her trees in her yard was dead. No growth, no nothing. So anyway, this particular day, my friend came over. Now she didn't stay on our street. In fact, she stayed what they call across the tracks. So she stayed over, but we went to school together. So she don't really know much about our street, but whenever she came over, she know that not to go, because I had told her, don't go cross by their house, because, because just what we had heard about Miss Bedell thing. So it was just a norm. People go on our street just did not go cross over our house. Anyway, my friend came over. It was spring break. And she came over my house. And I was sitting out there on the porch, shooting marbles and things like that. And she came over there. And she said, Maddie, y'all remember that lady y'all talking about? That lady lived down the street. She said, I don't know why y'all talk about that. That lady really nice. Have you ever had a conversation with her? I said, oh no, who you talking about? You not talking about Miss Bedell, because that's the only person that we said for her to stay away from. Yeah, girl, I said she was standing there at the gate, at her gate, smiling and everything, talking. She talked to me and just carried on a long conversation, talk about her husband and everything. How much she loved her husband, and she was going to meet him and all that. She talked about her children, even though they hadn't came. She talked about everything. I said, what? What? I was just in amazement, because it's another part to this. Yeah, she even gave me some cookies and stuff like that. She was nothing what y'all said she was. I said, did she tell you she was dead? Miss Bedell had died 4 days in the morning that day. And my friend Helen said she carried on the conversation with her. When I told Helen that, her face just got stoic. She just looked at me. Just all the color in her face had left her. I said, Miss Bedell, I promise you, girl, Miss Bedell died 4 days in the morning. That's been the talk around here. And you said, what? You carried on a conversation with her? I said, Maddie, that lady was different. She was talking. I ain't never heard her. I said, I ain't heard her talk. She talked to me, told me about her husband. She was going to see him today, all that. Well, Helen was going to spend the night with me that night. But I said, you think you want to do it another night? Probably not tonight. Not if what you just experienced. Of course, I didn't want her in the house with me after that, because if she was in the presence of Miss Bedell, surely she had something on her. And I didn't want the residue that was on her to come in my house. Helen ain't been the same since that incidental. She ain't. In fact, I never did see much of her, because they say after that her mama put her away just because of some things she was going through. And one of the things her mama had told my mama was that in the middle of the night, if she just get up and sit up alongside of the bed, just sit for long periods of time, won't say nothing, wouldn't say nothing. Then one time, when her mama really told her that, she was just gonna put her away into the asylums, she said she was scared one night, and her mama let her in the bedroom with her. And her mama said that this mama said she couldn't sleep. She was tossing and turning. Just started turning and turning, just couldn't sleep. And said her daughter's back was to her when they was in the bed. And so finally one time she turned around and her daughter just sitting up like this, in close enclosure to her, face to face. And she just standing there looking, just looking. Didn't blink her eyes or nothing. She said she had to turn her in.
What the mama do, Matty G?
Turned her tail in. They took her to the asylum. I ain't seen her since. Miss Bedell's spirit that got on her.
She crazy?
I ain't gonna say she crazy, Herman. But she was touched. And it wasn't by no angel. That was my friend. But she wasn't right.
She wouldn't be my friend no more.
She ain't nobody's friend. I don't even know if she's still alive. I ain't heard from that girl since then. And that was a long time ago. But her mama said when she turned around and that girl was in her face like that and didn't blink her eye, Miss Bedell's spirit was on her. I don't play with the supernaturals. I don't do that. I don't. But I don't dabble into it, but I do believe there's a difference. There's spirit and paranormal activities, things that you just can't explain. My friend was a sweet girl. Wasn't nothing wrong with her. But when she told me she had that conversation with Miss Bedell and how Miss Bedell talked to her, Miss Bedell had passed away 4 days in the morning. 4 days in the morning.
I'm sleeping the light on tonight. I ain't sleeping in your room.
So the moral is, to me, for this story is that when somebody tell you to do something, I don't care what. She said Miss Bedell would talk. All this time, all these years when we were growing up, I always told her not to talk to that lady. Because that was our instructions. Don't talk to her. And for that day, that particular day that she lured her, I believe. She lured her. She got to her and got closer and closer and closer to her, got into her spirit and started talking to her. Got into her. And I believe with all my soul, Miss Bedell got her. Boom!